right. I hope you enjoyed that new intro that we've got. Thank you so much for joining us. This is another Thursday, yet another Exploring Project Firefly live stream. So thank you very much for spending your next, hopefully, hour with us. Hopefully we can maintain your attention for the next, I don't know, 45, 60 minutes here. We'll see how it goes. But we have a fantastic show today. We are going to review a bunch of the resources that our team has been working super hard on, from documentation, which certainly the product team, as well as engineering and our team works on. We'll be going over events like this one, videos, and we'll show Code Labs, and I think one of the key things that we'll show is ADU, our learning series that will be released in a couple of months. So it'd be great to get your feedback on the things that we're doing and if we're pointed in the right direction. And hopefully all of these resources are helping you guys get up to speed on learning Project Firefly. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is actually let me introduce the first person. Well, actually, I think I'll introduce the slide deck, but then we'll have Florian, our fearless leader, into, hey, you're on the live stream. I should have mentioned that I was going to just throw you right into it. Welcome, Florian.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I think what we're going to do is start out with, we've got a presentation, and you're going to talk about kind of the team and what we're about, and then we'll take it from there. Sound good?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Let's jump into, if I can get this presentation going. Okay, let me... It's this whole thing of adding you in instead of me.
Well, otherwise, we're looking at you. It's all perfect, and I just talk.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Here, we're just going to hear you.
All right, perfect.
That'll make it more streamlined.
No worries. So, first of all, thank you very much, Ron. Great being on the show. Yes, we're running a team which is called Adobe IO Developer Enablement. And I just thought, before we go into the details of what we're going to produce and deliver, all the assets for you and all the learning material, it might also make sense, why we're doing it and who's doing it. So what you see here is that we are a global team of engineers, and we develop enablement assets, and we get to the details of what enablement assets we produce, like code labs and sample labs and digital learning material, videos, documentation. We get to that through this show. We also develop customer POC, so together with implementation partners. So if you have a customer, you are a customer, you have implementation partners, consulting, and so on. Of course, we scale pretty badly, but we help getting your feet on the ground and kickstart POCs. That's also one of our tasks. We maintain public support channels. We also get to that, talk, for example, about Experience League forums. And we engage with the community in live streams, webinars, or we show up at conferences. So Developers Live Conference or Adobe Summit and so on. We're running those shows. All of that, we're always supported and very thankful to our Adobe IO team, including product management and marketing and engineering. So why do we produce a lot of things? As you can read here, we actually thought that we scale pretty bad. Scaling engineering resources is key, and develop once, distribute many is also key for us. So instead of always going there doing shows one-to-one, we said let's travel less, but let's engineer more. All the sample apps, how-to guides for APIs and videos is our focus. So the focus is on developing the most required enablement assets and courseware that we could do. So we aim to produce assets for all the solutions, the verticals of Adobe products, but also of different clouds. Good. So, and to whom do we produce that for? Our main target group is you here on the call, I hope, like system integrator developers or enterprise developers, right? People who work with system integrators or developers who actually work for our enterprise customers. Of course, we also develop for our consulting people, and help them, but this is our main target group, right? And that gives you a little bit kind of an idea who we are. We have people in Europe and Asia Pacific time zone, as well as we have people in North America time zone. So therefore, we try to support you the best. This is our team. This is why we are doing it. This is who we are doing it for. And now I think, Ron, let's get it going. Actually, what we do in details. Back to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Florian. Appreciate that. So what we're going to cover today is, as I mentioned, resources for developers. We've got docs, live streams, code labs, sample apps, and videos. You can see here on this screen, we've got the support form. Dave's going to show that real quick during his section. And yeah, you can. We publish a bunch of content to not only YouTube, but also to Medium, to our tech blog, and our Twitter account at Adobe Devs, which hopefully you're following one or all of those channels from us. Okay, so getting started, and I think the first thing that we're going to cover is pretty much where everyone gets started, which is the website. We've got, let's see. Let me jump over here. We've got this resources page that has a lot of the content that we're going to pretty much review today. Blog articles, videos, etc. There's also an events page that has all of the upcoming events. I'll actually refresh that because I've updated it. But yeah, all of the upcoming events. So if you're ever curious about what the next live stream is, it's all here. Let me jump back into the deck. And before I hand it over to Dave, just wanted to share one of the things we're doing is soon we'll be releasing a new docs experience, which we think is going to be a lot more usable for you and I think helpful for us. One of the things that we've got in this new experience is certainly a document search, which we hadn't had in the past. So that will make things a whole lot easier. All right, so I am going to get out of this and we're going to go over to Dave. Hey, Dave, how's it going, man?
It's all right. How about you?
Good, good. Hey, no coffee today, no espresso, because like we saw in the intro. Do you have that same? Oh no, you've got the big mug. Okay, very big nice.
I've upgraded for the live stream, right? Need to be. It's not practice anymore.
It's not practice anymore.
Got to go to a full size cup.
Exactly. All right. So you want to show us what you've been working on, because you've been working with the website team as well, right?
I have been.
Okay.
There we go. Look at that. I am bubble enabled. Sweet. Okay. So I'm going to show you a little bit about our landing page and how to get started here. This is Adobe I/O, where all of our developer documentation starts. The journey for everybody starts here. So we've been working pretty hard on this over the last year. There's been a number of improvements. We've gone through and upgraded our templates. We've made them more responsive. Accessibility, we've been focusing on that over the last year with our developer documentation. We've improved the score there quite a lot over the last year. Our accessibility scores were pretty bad. So also, responsiveness on the site and layout was hurting a little bit. So we've gone through this a lot, and I'm going to show you how to get started with pretty much any API you want to use or product that you want to extend. I'll focus on Firefly mostly though. So it all starts here on the products page. This used to be called APIs or Discover. We've changed the name, but it's pretty much the same. As you go down through here, you'll see all the great products at Adobe, and you can pick the one you want to go into and learn a little bit more about how to develop for. In this case, we're going to go into Project Firefly and then learn more. So learn more is going to take us over to pretty much what we call the marketing page inside of Adobe I/O. Each one of the products has a marketing page, and it kind of, it's the pre-sales place where you learn a little bit more about what you can do with the APIs or what they have to offer. This is pretty much a little bit of the introduction videos here. We'll talk about how to get started. Sign up for a preview is a very important call to action on this page. We also have events like the one that you're in right now. If you're watching this, we have a schedule of the events listed here on the main page. Across the top, you'll see links to our documentation, our support, and then the events, again, like the one you're in right now, and then resources, which is basically what we're covering inside of this session. So if you look down through here in the resources, you'll see the code labs, which Jay will be talking about, sample applications, videos, real world examples, and blogs. So I'm going to go over to support real quick. So support is listed here. This will take you over when you link here. This will take you over to the Experience League. And I'll just flip to that tab since I have it open already. So Experience League is our forum. It's provided to us by Experience League. And in here in this forum, you'll find questions that have been asked before. There's a lot of great historical data that's in here. And our team basically watches this channel constantly and tries to answer questions immitely. I don't know. Look at this guy. He's answering a lot of questions. I don't know who that is, but he's a handsome devil.
Nice day.
So now I'm going to go self-plug, right? Okay, so I'll go back here to our existing website. And then we go over to documentation, right? And one of the things you'll notice is that we have a pretty comprehensive documentation listed here. Then this is where you would get started to get to know things like getting started, what's required for your environment, some technical overviews like the security overview. We also have all the low-level documentation for each of the SDKs and libraries listed here. And fun note, all of this is also open source. So our documentation is also available via Adobe Docs Project Firefly. And if you see something you don't like, or you want to suggest an improvement, or make some type of change, or we've just stated something that's completely wrong in somewhere in our documentation, you can actually come in here and view the documentation. It's all done in Markdown, and you can actually make a change to the documentation and submit a PR, and we'll review it, approve it, or reject it. And then magically it will appear inside our documentation on Adobe I/O, which is pretty cool. So this is all great. If you noticed when I was reloading some of the pages, it took a second to load, and the layout's pretty good, but it could be better, right? So I'm going to show you now our brand new spiffy website for Project Firefly that will be coming out here very shortly. We're just working through the final kinks. There's a couple broken links and whatnot. But this is our new marketing page, similar to the old marketing page, except for now with a whole bunch more colors, better layout, and it loads a lot quicker. We have the same sections we had in the other one. We have, forums, which is the support link, office hours, which is, events, basically, like this event here, and then code labs, which Jay will be talking about. And then if you go over, we have things segmented a little bit better. We have documentation, events, and support across the top again. But when you go into them, they're laid out a little bit easier to read. The accessibility is bumped up. Our score is much better in that. Also, the responsiveness in this is much better. We had a breakpoint that would look a little weird when you were using probably an iPad. It made things cut up a little bit. And then our documentation has been improved, I hope, greatly. If you have feedback on this, you can let us know. But we think that we've improved it a lot. We've broken it down. Instead of a really long list of things, we've made it a lot more colorful and a little bit more approachable by breaking it into smaller sections. As you go down through here, you'll see that it's segmented a little better. And then across the top, we now have sections like getting started, right? Little nice side nav here with some inside the documentation search. We have guides that walk you through particular scenarios and setup, right? And then again, back to the resources, which is ever important to everybody, right? I mean, lots of good resources in here. Also coming soon to the Adobe I/O platform as a whole, as far as the website is concerned, we have a really cool enhancement coming out in the next short period, which is search. I'm not going to make any commitments to date there, but site-wide search is going to be coming back to the site. We had search a number of years ago, and some joker decided it was terrible and it needed to be go off the site. And that would be me. I'm that joker.
You can be disparaging to yourself.
It was bad. The results were bad. So we've put a lot of work into it, and we're coming back with a new, improved, more accurate search results for our developer documentation. Another thing that we're going to be improving and working to improve in the coming future is interactive API documentation. Basically Swagger docs, interactive Swagger docs is what I'm talking about here. We have some today, but they're a little bit lacking in a few features, and we're going to be working on that over the next couple quarters. Get that out to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Dave. That is fantastic.
You're welcome.
So let's
hopefully everybody loves it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to go live. I think it's going to be fantastic. And thanks for all your work on it. Very cool. So let's jump over to Jay. And how are you doing?
Great. A beautiful day, especially we are on live.
Yes, we are. And you've got a little robot behind you, which is cool, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So go ahead and share your screen, and you can get the deck going, and then you can review Code Labs for us. And there you go.
Everybody can see?
Yep, looks great.
Hi, thanks, Ron. So I'm Jay, a member from our enablement team. Today, I'm so excited to introduce one of my favorite assets, the Code Lab. So in general, this Code Lab is designed for the developers who don't have any experiences with Firefly. It's fine if you never used Firefly before. The Code Lab is a perfect place for you to get started. So today, in 5 minutes, I will first give an overview of what Code Labs are and why we are doing Code Labs. And then I will quickly do a walkthrough of one example of the Code Labs, briefly show you how to use it. At the end, I will show you how you could contribute to the Code Lab if you want. So now let's get started. So this is the first page of our Code Labs. And this is the architecture of what we have for the Code Labs. So let's say the Code Lab covers each component of our project Firefly. In this project Firefly, we have 5 main components that each one we have several Code Labs like covering the topics. For example, let's say you want to do an app with a UI. The spectral introduction one would be a good places you get to know bit about our spectral UI framework of the project Firefly. So the building Firefly to do apps, usually it could be the first one you build up a project Firefly apps. So it provides you the step-by-step from using the template to the end. Like you play with that, at the end you will get a to-do apps using project Firefly. At the same time, like scheduling crawl jobs will show you the SDKs we have, how you can leverage our SDKs. If you don't want the UI, the Firefly headless app would be a good example. Like if you just want a runtime-based project Firefly apps. So we have other developer tools, like when you want to leverage in CI/CD, and also if you came across problems, the debugging Firefly apps would be coming in handy. those three are my favorite part. Those are the use cases we have. So let's say if you want to integrate with other Adobe solutions like Photoshops or AEM, or you want to using the Analytic API, just follow those three use cases. At the end of the collab, you will be able to build your own beautiful dashboard or a computer worker. And so now you got all done. Let's say you want to hook up, have more fun to having some events triggered or using our event-driven models or generating APIs to get the event. Those two collabs covers the whole event scenes. So now I want to talk a bit about why we're doing those collabs. Is, like as a developer, documentation is always our pinpoint. Like we really want the clear documentations on how to use those things. So our team would like to provide a developer-friendly hands-on appearances that is extremely easy to use, and the step used through the process of building a small applications. So the whole collab is based on the GitHub Markdown. So it's very user-friendly to developers. So you could easily create your PR or like Dave said, if you found something wrong or you want to contribute to the collab, you can just clone our template and commit your contents and create a user PR. So the beautiful thing is you just need to commit on the collab. Our system can then render for you automatically. So eventually you will get a web page, which looks really beautiful. So now, as I already talked about a lot about the collabs, so let me quickly do a walkthrough, show you how the collabs looks like and how you can actually easy to use it. So I'm gonna switch to my browser. So this one is the start page of the collabs, and the contents are here. If you scroll down, let's say I click on one of my favorite one, the customer profile dashboard ones. So in this one, you see here, we have all those lessons. So that's my favorite part of the collab. It's like when you're reading the collab, you feel like you're reading a story. The structure is so clear. You follow step on, you got your own app. So we also provide the sample code here, which is also beautiful too. If you just click into the links usually in those collabs and just use this template or clone this GitHub, you can easily play with the code. There's two ways you can also from scratch follow the steps one by one, or you can modify the sample code to customize to your own. So just follow those lessons, step 1 to 3. At the end of the lessons, it will provide you, that's the lesson 5. So at the end of lesson 5, so we provide the screenshot of what you will get out of the app here. For example, you got those pages and you was able to receive the champion emails. So you can compare your result with the result we show here to find out is there anything wrong with your approach. So that's pretty much how we use the collabs. I would say it's really easy to use. And at the end, I really want to point it out. You are more than welcome to create your own public I/O collabs. It is very simple. Just follow the steps here. Just clone the repository, and then you would be. We have the template here. We just generate the template and writing down in the Markdown and commit, and that's all. So that's all about the collab. Very easy to use, and most importantly, it's free. Free document. All right. Hope you enjoy it. So hand back to you, Ron.
Jay, do you want to talk a little bit about the sample apps that we have? I mean, as part of the code labs, I think a lot of the samples we make available, like the one that you showed, this one, right? So customer profiles dashboard. This is a fully functioning sample app that customers are able to download, right?
Exactly.
Pick apart and see how it works.
Exactly. So usually each of the collab correlated with the sample apps. So it's like if you want to play with the sample apps, like Ron said, you just clone this and follow the steps and play with that.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Jay. That was great.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about videos. So we produced this show, the live stream, which was previously called Office Hours, if you happen to remember joining in Office Hours. And yeah, so the goal of this show is to drive engagement, to inform our community, and of course, the stream stops right when I jump in. I don't know why that happens. It must be, I don't know. Hopefully the internet is not having problems. But anyways, my fiber hopefully is still working. So as I was mentioning, so this live stream, which used to be called Office Hours, the intention is to provide you guys information, hopefully get you to come in and bring questions to us. If you have questions, this is one of the things I forgot to mention at the beginning, absolutely put them into comments on YouTube. And we've got Manik, one of our product managers who you've seen on previous shows. He is able to answer those, and he's been providing just a ton of links that you guys can click on for the things that we've been showing. All right, so let's jump into. Actually, Dave, I think we're gonna go to you next. Yeah, what? And we're gonna Dave and I produce videos that are. If you saw his Node 14 migration video, I don't know what it's called now. What is it called, Dave?
It was I don't know if you would call it a series or maybe a novel. I don't know. It was an epic adventure of 2 minutes through me upgrading a project from Node 12 to 14 is what it was.
There you go. There you go.
Steelberg is jealous.
Yes. Oh, hey, look.
It's great.
We've got your name since you reloaded there.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'll take that off.
Fancy.
There. It is fancy.
And I used my real name as well. That's cool.
Exactly. Okay, so we produce videos that are short, unlike this, which is a long, likely an hour, 45 minutes to an hour show. And again, to give you guys an area or a place to come and ask questions and learn, hopefully, some new things. We've got our next session, and I'll show that at the end. Our next session is an introduction. We haven't done our introduction for new folks, so we'll have our introduction that I'll be delivering on the 15th after we get back from break. Adobe thankfully takes a week off next week, so we are very grateful to Adobe. So
it's a rough life. Rough life.
So we're off next week, and then we'll be back the following week, like I said, on the 15th. And then on the 29th, we've got a partner showcase. We've got Self-Acrylic coming in, so that's going to be a fantastic session. So what we really want to show is ADU, or our digital learning series. So Dave, you want to?
Sure. Let me
to your section here, and if you want to share.
Excellent. Well, before I go into the slideshow, Ron, I sent you. Sure. So let me just give a little brief overview about the digital learning series. So what we're trying to do is, documentation's great. But there's many different types of learners in the world, and some of us are visual, and some of us don't like reading, and there's a little bit of context that's lost in blogs and very long documentation. So we're providing what we hope is a really comprehensive professional series that's going to be available to everybody around the September timeframe. I'm going to commit to that now. But we're going to show you from the beginning to the end, the journey through Adobe I/O, not just Firefly in general, because Firefly is part of a larger ecosystem. We're going to explain a lot of the tools in the ecosystem, how to use, for example, Adobe Developer Console, the CLI, and some other pieces. You know, it's a very large platform, and we're going to go into each of the different sections, and then, you know, try to comprehensively give you a whole learning experience. And Ron, I gave you a little demo video. If you want to show them the quality education that's coming their way, that'd be great. Hello, my name is David Benj, and today I'm going to show you how to get started with, nope. So now this is where at the part, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our favorite shell. We're going to open this up and realize that we had some mess in here already. And we're going to clean up our mess. Oh, dang, what? So many shells, so many different commands. All right, we're going to use that. No, please pay, no, please pay, no, note, please pay special attention to the app name, as this value cannot be changed once the project is set up. Okay. Note, please pay. Note, please pay special attention to the app name, as this value cannot be changed once the project setup is complete. Welcome to the video on deploying custom applications. Welcome to the course on, what did we use on the other ones? Oh my God. Well, that might not have been the right. Wow. Wow, not the first one again. No. Excellent. So that's a little preview of what we have in store for you. And now that you've watched the video in full, you're now all officially fully trained in Project Firefly. That was it. That was the training. You guys are all done. You guys go code now. So did you bring up the slide share there, Ron? Let me share my screen. All right, here we go. So in all seriousness, we've tried to put together a pretty comprehensive digital learning series for you that covers everything. I'm going to go step you through what we put together here real quickly. And yeah, hopefully it looks good to everybody. And if you have any feedback or questions or concerns about the training that we're going to be putting forward, please let us know. We're in the final stages of finalizing all the content. So if you see something that is a shortcoming or something that would make it exponentially better, please let us know so we can, take that feedback. All right, so here's the basic learning journey. So this is the journey that we've developed for you guys. So basically, the beginning part of our journey is more technical overview. We're basically going to be building that foundation of knowledge so that the terms and things that we use in the later courses don't seem foreign to you, right? So the first video in the series is the technical overview. And this is a great video. We'll probably be spamming this out multiple times over because it just has a really good, comprehensive light touch to everything in the stack, which is great. Tells you use cases, it has a number of use cases. It has all the pieces of the stack called out lightly in it. It talks about how applications are developed lightly. It's just a great overview into everything, right? And it sets that first brick in the foundation, right? So next we go into the Adobe Developer Console, which is where all projects basically get initialized, and it's where you spend a lot of your time. And as we were going into the series, we realized that Adobe Developer Console, we talk about it like everybody knows it secondhand. Not everybody does. So we went through, we provide a pretty comprehensive overview of Adobe Developer Console and all the pieces and how the pieces play together in there. Next, after that, we go into basically just a high-level overview of all the included SDKs, right? Seed your mind with all the possibilities of what things you can mash together and what built-in SDKs are there to make your lives easier as you go forward. So that's in there, right? You just get those ideas percolating. And then we go into the CLI basics. The AIO CLI is foundational to most everything we do. It's used in, I think, every single one of the steps where you actually go hands-on. I haven't validated that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. And then on to the next phase of learning here, right? The next course or series is called Getting Started. And this allows you to go into the Adobe Developer Console and initialize your project and basically get to the point where you could start coding quickly, right? And we walk you through the whole thing. After that, we go into developing actions. Actions are basically our runtime framework and how to build functional code for the runtime framework. And then we go from there, we go to storage, which is included with Project Firefly. We talk about the file store and the state store and how to use them, how to properly use them, what they are. And then we show a practical implementation. The Action Basics course and the Getting Started course basically we start building a demo application, right? We add the actions and basics. And then in storage, we add a couple more features to our application that use the file storage and the state store. Then next on our journey is events. And during events, we'll talk about, what is event oriented architecture, what are events, why are they good, a little bit about decoupling and scalability and, all those fun topics. So, kind of ease you into it and then let you know what we've done and how we work with events. And then we go into building front ends. And in that course, we go over the theory. We talk about the availability and what you can use. We talk a little bit about the Spectrum React library and the Spectrum CSS and some other tooling. And then we go into hands-on and we start building out functional pieces for our demo application. Then to the next phase of learning. So the next phase of learning is a little bit more theory and, follow along. We have security. We'll be going over security and all the principles and architecture and everything that's in there. And then we go into testing, showing you how to test actions, showing you how to test end to end, how to test UI in a functional capacity, and then how to test UI in more of an end to end type of scenario. Then we go to publishing. So this is the final step where we take the demo application and we talk about what does it mean to publish, how to publish, how to approve. Like if you're an organizational administrator, how do you approve and get your application listed in the registry or the exchange? And then also, where do you go to consume this? Where do you how do you tell your people? Where do you tell everybody to go, right, to consume your application? So we explain that as well. So that's our journey that we'll be taking you through on this educational journey through the jungle. And if anybody has,
yeah. So we do have a question, which I think is a good one. And
right on.
The questions: are you planning on a certification program? Which I know we've talked about.
Right.
But yeah, you want to.
At the moment, we're discussing it. We haven't actually dove into it completely yet. We are thinking about doing for some of our internal trainers some type of badging. Yeah, but I'd love to hear if this is something you'd be interested in actually getting a certification. That's one of the questions we have about certification is, is there value in going down that path and providing an industry recognized certification in this particular area? So
yeah, or in lieu of certification, is there something like a LinkedIn badge or something else that would be relevant, or useful for developers out there? That'd be the question.
Yeah. So we're still looking into that, and we'd love to hear if people think that's important and they feel strongly about it. Please let us know, and we can add that in to as information to our decision making process, right? Yeah, totally. But at this point, we're basically still exploring that. There's talk of a badge, and we're still just kicking that around to see if it's something we want to do. All right. So next slide, or is there more questions?
Nope. All good.
All right. Next slide. So the next slide is the courseware, right? I'm going to show you a little bit about the application we'll be developing, right? So you can see it here. It's the training project with the really cool Firefly logo that Florian made that's in his little camera feed at all times, which I'm jealous because I want one in my camera feed. So as we go in here, we'll see that what we're going to be developing is basically what we call a briefing request form. I might not be the most creative individual because I know for a fact I stole this from our Sneaks demo. I thought that it was a pretty good use case that what we were looking for was a use case that everybody could kind of relate with a little bit, and that it covered the basics, right? Being able to display data, being able to collect data, and basically be able to use the SDKs that are provided in Firefly. And one of the other caveats we wanted with our courseware was we didn't want to include too many product entitlements, right? Firefly is basically built to extend all of our products, right? We do focus a lot on the DX solutions or the marketing solutions, but it's basically built as a generic framework to be able to extend all our applications. And one of the problems that we were having, we were trying to decide, like, how do we do a demo app? We want it to be accessible. We want the training to be accessible to everybody. So if we picked, Campaign, it wouldn't be relatable to somebody else that doesn't use Campaign. Or if it was AAM based, it wouldn't really resonate with other people. And then you'd have to have an instance of AEM to use it or an instance of Campaign. So we tried to keep the application really simple and show the principles and the power of the platform without really going down those product paths yet. We'll be adding on pieces. The idea is this is a base framework, and then we'll be able to add in pieces that integrate with those solutions as like bolt-ons to the training, right? Like we can do maybe something on the our video channel, right? Like the Adobe developers channel, where we can show, hey, how would you hook this to AEM to do something, right? Or how would you hook this to Campaign to send something, right? So the idea here is there's a briefing request system. Basically takes in information from users. They request that they want a new banner ad for their new beer campaign coming out in the fall, right? And so they put in a request, and then somebody can go in here and list the requests. So here's our application and how we're doing it. On the home screen here, which I'm showing, or the home view, we have a welcome message, right? And I have in the white boxes here, you can see state store and basic, actions basic. This is basically, I'm calling out here where, what learning module we're reinforcing here. So when we do this particular view in the training, it will be after the actions basic and the state store information has been given to you. So we'll create a basic action and then we add the state store, and we'll be kind of decorating or adding to this demo application as we go forward through the training modules I defined. So here is the one of the other views, right? And in here, we're reinforcing the learning behind how to do a front end, right? We're reinforcing how to store the file, right? We're going to store this with the file SDK. Down at the bottom, I have action basics and custom events. When this gets saved into the system, we're going to throw out a custom event. The action basics is we're going to talk about how to get this information out of stock. And if you look over on the left-hand side of this slide, there's actions calling the Adobe API. So that particular search box is showing you how to integrate with Adobe Developer Console and actions to call an Adobe API. And we selected the stock API because it's open to everybody to use. It's not something you have to be entitled to use. So it makes for a great example API to use in here. And plus it has cool pictures like it's a bunch visual. Of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. Got beer and it's visual, which is great, which kind of merges both sides of the house there. And then we go to the last screen, right? In this demo application you'll build during the training. And basically we're going to teach you how to use actions again, reinforce that. We're going to show you how to build a little bit more comprehensive front end, right? Like the last, the briefing view is kind of data collection, right? And this would be data displaying or consuming, right? So we're showing you a little bit more comprehensive front end tutorial here. And then also, it's a very common use case to need to display data from some system, right? I mean, this is just 101, right? So we're going to show you how to use the file storage API or SDK. We're going to show you how to develop this front end and actions. And then finally, the distribution channels for this, right? This is important, right? The Adobe Digital University work is going to go into our training curriculum for internals mostly. So Adobe Digital University is how we train our consulting arm for the most part and internal employees. The public channels for this will be Experience League and the Solution Partner Portal when it gets out there. And we'll probably reuse the content a couple of times, other places too. You'll probably see it show up in the Adobe, the Adobe developer channel on YouTube or something like that as well, because it's just good content. We're also probably going to sprinkle in one of the other concepts we've been thinking about is in the standard documentation, when we start talking about a topic, one of the ideas is that we take and start sprinkling in these training videos, right? So that as you're reading the documentation, you can actually jump over to a video example that shows you more context, and then hopefully take the rest of the training as well. So that's what we have lined up for the education series.
Thanks, Dave. That was awesome.
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm going to bring us all up here. Hey, Florian, you're here too. Thank you for joining us. Hey, you do have that Firefly logo on your screen. Right? That is, yes. Welcome.
I can't get rid of it. It's somewhere on the screen, and
You can't wipe that Firefly off the screen. My goodness. No. Okay, so we did have a great question. Another one, are you planning to create a training specific to SIF? Yep. And Manik answered that,
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if it's when I get on the screen, but it seems like when I get on the screen, the stream ends. It abruptly gets, interrupted. Okay. So I apologize for that. But I'm apparently breaking the stream, so I should just stay off camera, I think is really what we've learned from this experience.
That's not good. That's not a good feeling, is it? My face comes on the internet and the internet breaks. That's not good.
Yeah, not so clever. Yeah. But as I was saying, so we talked a lot about, do we create product specific training, or do we try and create kind of general training that applies, that teaches you the fundamentals that you can apply to anything? And I think we definitely focused on that fundamentals applies to anything type of training as Dave went through. But we will provide in the future, certainly through Code Labs or through other videos, ways that you can, kind of a deep dive, a focus on, and we actually may do that in one of these live streams coming up. Like how to use SIF, the course team.
And this was a big discussion initially, was whether we do each of the different pieces, and that's the training, or the more generic overview. And we kind of thought about it like a layer cake, right? If we don't go over the basics and the overall, we have no structure, right? Every time we introduce a video and we talk about events, we're going to have to explain to them what events are. Every time we start one of these other small videos and we talk to them about CLI, we're going to have to go into the details of CLI, et cetera, right? So the idea was that we have this one basic generic training that basically gives you the Firefly base cake, and then we'll frost it with each of the products, right? We'll go in and talk about how to make interact with a headless front end, really, really tightly focused training, right?
There we go. So now he's asking us to include one with PIM integration. So there's your feedback.
We're going to start making the list. I will start writing them down. I'll have Manik write them down for us. But if you guys have great ideas for very detailed training, let us know, because we'd love to have a list, because we're guessing a bit based on, well, not guessing. We hear the feedback from the customers and our interaction with them, and our custom consulting and talking with the ACS, the Advanced Consulting Services through Adobe. We get a lot of feedback from them as what train next. But if you guys have them, throw them at us. We'd love to hear it.
Right. We have a few use cases in mind already. We're working on it, but there will be more. There will be more solutions which we become onboarded and so on. Yeah, but
and that's our next focus too, right? Like Florian, in my opinion, the next focus is, now that we have the base, now we start, going after all these individuals and getting those cases out there, right? Because now people can reference the base.
Yeah, I agree. Solution based and use case based, and yep.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So that pretty much is our show. I don't want to tempt fate by having me on camera. Maybe I should just remove myself from this, from the Brady Bunch view. Yeah,
we're gonna have to test this theory. We're gonna have to add you and remove you and see if the internet breaks each time. This would be interesting.
It's probably smart software, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well trained, perhaps. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, so again, next time on the 15th, take a look at our events page. The link has been shared. I'll be doing the intro to Project Firefly for folks that are new. So if you are new to this, then absolutely join the next one. If you have colleagues that you're like, hey, they might be interested in Firefly, absolutely invite them to that session, because it's going to be a great way to get an introduction and to kind of get your feet wet with what Firefly is and what it can do for you. We'll have a demo as part of that as well. Okay.
Ooh, demo.
Yeah, we've got another comment. Looking forward to integration with AEM and content and experience fragments, and also using it to integrate across Adobe products, specifically with AEM being one of them. Yes, stay tuned. We're absolutely going to be focused heavily on AEM going forward. So I think there's going to be a lot
laser focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of great stuff.
Just to add, Ron, Monique shared, Adobe, iodev@adobe.com as the public email address, which I think is totally great. Share your information, your ideas with us. Also, if you have specific customer use cases, real examples that you need help with, whatever we can do, wherever we scale, and of course, as always, limited resources. But however, we try to kickstart POCs and help you with the engagements and projects. Okay, just let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Florian. That's yeah, absolutely. iodev@adobe.com is a place you can reach us, and as Florian mentioned, we are absolutely happy to help. All right. Any parting words on this? Thank goodness. I just want to say my parting word is I am so happy it's not 102 degrees and I'm not doing this like during a heat wave like the last session that I ran with Anil. Which, if you haven't watched the session with Anil from Accent Group, definitely check it out. That was fantastic. We'll have a blog coming out as well for that. But yeah,
that was a really good session.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I will say thanks for joining, guys, and
we'll
talk to you later.
Always a pleasure. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.